Success isn't given, it's earned. And earning it means becoming the person who deserves it. The bottom line is where we cut through the chaos to simplify success, uncovering the strategies, mindset, and resilience it takes to win. Real stories, expert insights, and practical tools. Because the only way to the top is by putting in the work. This is The Bottom Line. Welcome to The Bottom Line. I'm your host, Ryan Herpin, and this is the show where we cut through the noise to uncover real strategies for success. Because I believe success isn't given, it's earned. And today, we're talking about a challenge that so many of us face but don't always talk about. How do you show up consistently as a parent, a spouse, and a business owner without feeling like you're failing in one area? If you're an entrepreneur, you know this struggle all too well. Your business is always on your mind. There are clients to serve, fires to put out, and growth to chase. But at the same time, your family needs you. Your kids don't care about your latest business deal. They just want to play with you. They want you present and around. Your spouse doesn't want another excuse about why you missed dinner. They want your time and attention. And here's the hard truth. Trying to juggle everything often leads to guilt, burnout, even resentment. You feel like you're winning in one area, you're losing in another. Maybe you're crushing it in your business, but you feel distant at home. Or maybe you're spending time with family, but your business is suffering because of it. And that feeling, for me, it ate at me once upon a time. And too often, one of these areas takes a big hit. And when that happens, it can feel like you're failing at everything. But here's the thing that I've come to learn. This challenge isn't about finding a perfect balance. It's about finding a rhythm that works for you, your family, your business. Because the truth is, if you don't figure this out, you risk not just your business, but your relationships, your health, and your own peace of mind. So today, I really want to break this down. We're going to talk about 4 principles that I use in my own life to find that rhythm between my business, my wife, my child, and everything that surrounds that, including my hobbies even. And first thing I want to talk about is why balance is a myth and rhythm is actually the key. You don't need equal time in all areas. You need intentional time. When we think about balance, we think about equal. We think the same focus, the same time, that's what equal boils down to. But in reality, I've learned that sometimes the business needs more of you. Sometimes the family needs more of you. Sometimes the wife needs you to take her out on a date, or the kids need you to pick them up from a sporting event or be present at the sporting event. It's not balance, it's rhythm. Some days in my own life, I have to spend more time working, taking care of clients, going to meetings, attending events. Other times, I leave work early so that I can take my wife out on a date, or I can take my son to the park and spend that intentional time with him. Because and my wife has been a very big, important part of this for me. Learning this is it's not about how much time you spend, it's the quality of that intentional time. The second thing I'd like to talk about is how to set priorities that actually work. So you're present where it matters most. For me, I had to take a step back because once upon a time, I was running a very large manufacturing company. I was working 100 plus hours a week. I was achieving incredible accolades. I was accomplishing many great things, but I didn't feel a sense of fulfillment because I was missing out on my wife. I was missing out on my son, and he was very young, newly born. I had to take a step back and identify where my priorities really lied. What mattered most to me? What were those core values? And honestly, I had to remind myself, what were my vows to my wife? So it really matters when to really figure out what is the most important thing to you. Because do you want to just provide a great life for your family, but you might not be present? Or do you want to be present and maybe fall short on some of the greater things of life? I believe there's a dichotomy that's there. So setting those priorities of what really matters to you, if it really matters to you to be a billionaire, well, your priorities are going to be very heavily on the career and aspiration accolade side. If you really care about being surrounded by people you love and that have stories to tell about you when you're laying on your deathbed, well, your priorities are probably going to lie more with your family. Where for me, and I can only speak in my personal experience, I have big dreams, big aspirations, but I refuse to sacrifice those memories, that time, the love and experience I can spend with my wife and my children. So the third point, how to create structure that works even in chaos, because let's face it, both family and business are very unpredictable. If you're an entrepreneur, you know one wrench can be thrown out of nowhere that stops all the cogs from turning. Or a sport analogy. Sometimes you're ready to swing, you think it's going to be a fastball, all of a sudden it's a curveball, and you miss, right? Structure. I set a routine in place, morning routine, work routine, coming home routine, to spend time with the wife and the kid. And part of this routine for me is structure of my own habits, my own time, my own focus and areas so that I can spend more time with my family. So a place that I start with a lot of my clients and the people that I mentor is your morning routine is the first most important thing of your day. I wake up very early before most people would say makes any kind of sense. But that first hour of my day, I spend feeding my brain, feeding my mind, feeding my system with the right things, motivational videos, a quick workout, stretch routine, an audiobook. I'll educate myself in a new concept, a new strategy, a new business idea, whatever it may be. And I start my day off right so that I know I spent some time working on me. So at any point throughout the day, I can happily give myself to those around me, my business, my family, however that's going to pan out in that day. Another part of that routine is I get my son up every day and I take him to daycare. For me, that is one-on-one time I can spend with him that gives me that constant connection. Every morning, it's the same thing. I bust in with a smile on my face, happy and ready to go. These are all little things you can add to your day that gives structure, that allows you to be consistent in taking care of those priorities. All of these points I'm bringing up really do work together, and when applied all together, can make profound changes in your happiness, your fulfillment, your relationships, and your business. So the fourth point of this is how to avoid that burnout and resentment, so you don't end up resenting the very things you love. This is a trap that many of us fall in. I have fallen in this trap countless times, and I could confidently say majority of the people watching this have fallen in this trap as well. There's been plenty of times where I loved the accolades I was achieving, I loved the accomplishments I was reaching, but I would start to feel like, man, is it really worth it? Because now I'm missing out time with my son or my wife, or man, maybe I've spent too much time the last few weeks focusing on projects at home, that, remodeling the laundry room of all things. But understanding that what I'm doing is still serving those areas in life. So having that structure, having those priorities, and understanding the rhythm helps you avoid that burnout and resentment. It's also taking a step back and understanding that if it was easy, everyone would do it. It wouldn't be special. It wouldn't be creative. It wouldn't be awesome. There's no great reward without great risk. So avoiding burnout and resentment, sometimes just reminding yourself that it's not easy. It's not going to be easy. It's not meant to be easy. It's meant to be a grind. It's meant to be tough. You're meant to push through it, to struggle, because growth doesn't come from comfort zones. And for me, in my experience, even as my career has taken off, my firm has grown, my client list has become very large, my struggle is rhythm. Easier put as balance, although I believe balance is more of a myth. Finding that right rhythm is my new challenge. So on a regular basis, I have to remind myself of my priorities. I have to maintain my disciplines in my structure and routine. And I have to make sure that I don't get into a position where I'm annoyed with my team, my employees, my clients, my wife, my son, because they may need more of my time and attention when I feel like my business might need more of my time and attention. It's easy to fall in that trap. And it's easy to say, here's how you avoid it. It's much harder to actually do that. So now that we've kind of covered those four major principles that I use to find that rhythm of managing, being a father, a husband, an entrepreneur, there's a couple things that have also helped me on a deeper level, and that is my belief system, what I believe in, faith, my core values, my morals, my non-negotiables even. So another very important point that I spoke of recently with my brother, of all people, my older brother. Even to this day, he's still another mentor to me. It's finding those boundaries that you will not cross, that business will not impede on. My boundary is when I am home with my son and wife, I will not answer my phone immediately every single time. I'm spending intentional time with my family. Yes, I may miss out on an opportunity. Yes, I may be needed by somebody, but who's more important than the people you go home to every day? Who's more important than the people that depend on you every day? And if you're working with the right people, the right clients, the right customers, the right team, they're going to respect your boundaries. It is vital that you find those boundaries and set those in stone and do not cross those. Now, we've got a lot to unpack today. So next, I'm going to be introducing a guest to join us who I have come to know and I believe is an expert in this exact topic in so many ways. This individual I look up to for how they've managed this. So stick around. Don't go anywhere. Grab a pen and pad because we're going to be right back on the bottom line.